What's up, guys? Welcome to Among the Fence, my YouTube channel where I do music reviews. My name is Aaron, and if you happen to be a fan of metalcore and deathcore and just heavy metal and death metal, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe and ring the bell icon. That way you don't miss out on any of my future reviews. And also, if you have anything you want to review, new, old, album, EP, whatever, go ahead and leave a comment below letting me know what it is, and it'll be featured on an upcoming Request Wednesday. And for today's music review, we're going to be checking out the new single, Shoulders, by the band Coheed and Cambria. And I know I just got done saying that I do deathcore, metalcore reviews, and now I'm doing a review on Coheed and Cambria, but I mean, it's my favorite band, and it's where I got the name of my channel, so I mean, I just can't ignore them when they come out with new stuff. I can't just pretend like it didn't happen. Coheed and Cambria is a prog rock, prog metal, pop punk, or even just punk, post-hardcore band. It all really depends on which one of their 9 albums you're going to be listening to. They come from New York, and they started about 1995, and they've had a very interesting progression throughout their music. When you very first listen to them, that's where they have like the post-hardcore punk kind of thing going on. And then if you listen to their very last album, which came out in 2018, titled Unheavenly Creatures, it's completely different. It's more arena rock. There's a lot more pop involved in their music, a lot less punk. It is just kind of an all-around, like a hard rock kind of album, and a lot of people don't really appreciate that. They like the more traditional Coheed and Cambria sound, which has Claudio Sanchez's high vocals, some very progressive, kind of out-of-the-box songwriting just in general. And that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with them when I first started listening to them. And it's also one of the reasons why I had a hard time getting into them, is because of Claudio's voice. But then it kind of grew on me a little bit, a little Dream Theater-ness to it, I guess. And the theme of all of Coheed and Cambria's music, their albums, all that, is about 90% of the stuff that they write is based on a comic book titled Amory Wars, which is a comic book that Claudio Sanchez wrote. And it's kind of like an X-Men, Star Wars kind of mashup thing. And when Claudio Sanchez was asked what the meaning of Shoulders was, he said, in art, in your career, in relationships, no matter how much you give of yourself or try, you have to accept that not everything in life can be a perfect fit. And I'm not really sure what that means, but the new album that they're coming out with is supposed to be like part 2 of a 5-part thing. He also stated that it's going to be a modern record, a Coheed and Cambria record still, but it's looking forward and not backward, which a lot of Coheed and Cambria fans, myself included, were very much guilty of. Just make another second stage Turbine Blade already. Shoulders starts off with a quick riff and some hand clapping that brings us into the first verse, which has a more mellow version of that guitar riff. And I'm not really a big fan of the effects that they're using on the guitar. It gives it a very staticky, robotic sound. It's like they're using like a fuzz and like a phaser effect on the guitar, which they've done stuff like that before, especially in their later albums. And I'm just not really that big of a fan of it. Claudio's vocals are also enhanced with the same kind of effect that really just take away from his voice so much. And we don't get to hear his voice in a more natural sound until we get to the chorus, which, I mean, it's a great sounding chorus. It's got a typical Coheed and Cambria hook to it. It's got a musical progression that sounds really great. It makes you want to hear more. But I feel like it's just missing something. It's almost like a pre-chorus, and you're just waiting for something bigger to happen, and it doesn't really happen. The guitar solo is also very faint and doesn't really cut through the staticky rhythm section all that well. Kind of reminds me of like a Dave Navarro solo off of a Jane's Addiction song, but because of this, it makes the guitar solo, unfortunately, it makes it forgettable. And the song also doesn't have a bridge, which is the best part of almost every single Coheed song that there is. I mean, Claudio Sanchez is such a great songwriter, and his song progressions are fantastic. He's really good at coming up with really catchy, very simple guitar riffs that are easy and fun to learn on the guitar, and this song just seems to be missing almost all of those things. Shoulders is a great sounding song, but it feels very lazy for this band. And I feel like the worst crime here is taking away Claudio's natural vocals, which are kind of the reason why a lot of people have a hard time getting in Coheed, but it's also why people love them, and it's what makes Coheed. It's Claudio Sanchez. It's what he sounds like, and when you put such a heavy vocal effect on him, it's almost like what he's been doing with his side project, Prize Fighter Inferno, and it gives it a very techno, synthetic, more pop, EDM kind of sound to it, and it takes away from the heart of Coheed and Cambria, which is more pop, punk, hardcore, progressive rock, progressive metal. It just pushes them more into like a mainstream sound, which just isn't very appealing to long-term fans. I will say that this song does sound like a Coheed song, at least. I mean, it doesn't blend in too much with all the other songs that are coming out with the same kind of sound. If you listen to this, it does have some of their characteristics to it. Even the guitar riff, which isn't overly catchy and it doesn't stand out all that much, and it does have a very strong like effect on it, it still has that reminiscent kind of thing that you would expect from them to put out. So with all that said, I gotta give Shoulders by Coheed and Cambria a 2.6 out of 5. I didn't necessarily hate this song, and I obviously don't love it either. And I'm more of a fan of Coheed's earlier work, specifically like their first 4 albums, but I did enjoy their last album, which a lot of people that are in the same kind of boat of liking their earlier stuff hated it. And I feel like majority of their fans that like their earlier stuff are probably going to hate this song as well. So I want to know what you guys think. Leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of Shoulders. If you haven't listened to it yet, I'm going to leave a link for it down in the description. Go ahead, give it a listen, and let me know what you would rate it. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to give it a like. If you want to see more, I encourage you to subscribe, ring the bell icon. That way you don't miss out on any of my future content. It does a lot to help me and support my channel, and I appreciate it more than you guys could ever imagine. And if you have anything you want me to review, new, old, album, EP, whatever, don't forget to leave a link for it down in the description below, and it'll be featured in an upcoming Request Wednesday. And I hope you guys all have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you happen to be watching this, and I will talk to you guys next time. I was trying to make it lying